Welcome everybody to the Latin Nerds Network. My name is Jose and this is my review for Air. Of course, the newest film by director Ben Affleck, who I actually prefer behind the camera than in front. He actually plays double duty here, being behind and in front of the camera as he normally does in his films. I love him as a filmmaker. I think he's great on a lot of good stuff with Argo, The Town. For example, Live at Night was okay, but this is one that's, I think, kind of brings him back to form here. And of course, this is very simply the story behind the shoe, right? The Air Jordans, the greatest brand in sportswear, if you will. Of course, endorsing Nike, endorsing the greatest player of all time, the one Michael Air Jordan. Of course, this one here is a nice cast. Viola Davis here playing Jordan's mom. You got Matt Damon playing Sonny Vaccaro, if I'm saying that right. Of course, Ben Affleck playing Phil Knight, who is, of course, the CEO at the time, is the CEO of Nike. Chris Tucker's in here. I thought it was very good. Jason Bateman. So it's a big cast here, telling the story about, how Nike came to prominence back in 80-45 with the signing, of course, of Air Jordan, which that was their big key signing that year. At the time, Nike was really they were way behind the competitors, right? Converse at the time was spearheading the tennis shoe, the basketball shoe market, of course, of stars like Magic and Bird, Isaiah. Adidas was on the come, maybe even surpassing Converse overall, because they were the cool shoe back in the day. Those who are alive to remember back in the time in the 80s, and that was with the sports gear and Run DMC had the song and all that. They were the ones to beat. Nike was a greatly distant third, and really Michael Jordan actually didn't want anything to do with them at the time. So this is a story following Matt Damon, of course, Sonny, who is the one who really spearheaded the efforts to bring Michael Jordan on board into the Nike fold, making them into what they are today. Of course, the biggest brand in basketball shoes and shoes in general. I think personally, I think they have like $4 billion in revenue, whatever the case is a year. It's crazy numbers. But it's a good story. I like what's going on here. This is a fun film, not a very deep one in terms of this is not going to change your life, but it just kind of goes about telling the story of these underdogs. Nike at the time, who would have thought that, how big they are now, they were actually just really third fiddle behind all these other shoe companies, and them coming to prominence because of what Sonny did and his efforts, circumventing his Phil Knight's requests not to be so aggressive or to take as many risks, but he did it anyway, going against the grain and doing everything he could to bring Michael Jordan on board. And it wasn't just him; it was the team around him. Of course, with the marketing guy and then the actual shoe designer, how they came up with the shoe. Very fascinating stuff, very interesting, but it's told in a very fun way, very good, funny dialogue throughout. You root for the guys, you root for Matt Damon. I thought he was really good here. Great music throughout. Obviously this is somewhere it takes place in the 80s, so if you're an 80s fan, this is gonna be your kind of jam. Particularly the beginning intro is basically just one big nostalgia bomb as they kind of bombard you with all the big marketing pushes back and during that time. But it's a good story, and it's well told. And that's all you could ask for, right? It's not, is this Affleck's best movie? Of course not. But it's very good, very entertaining. I like Chris Tucker here, and I guess a good message about faith, and belief, taking chances and risk, and that's how you become successful in this world. I think anybody who's gone to great heights successfully or monetarily, what have you, would tell you gotta take some risk here and there. And I'll start with Phil Knight, Ben Affleck's character, taking that leap of faith and putting, this very risky proposition of putting all your eggs in one basket with Michael Jordan, the pursuit of Michael Jordan, when you were really not the favorite to land him. So it's a very interesting story, very well told. I love the dialogue here. It's funny, it's quippy, it moves fairly fast. And like I said, it may not change your life per se, but if you're a basketball fan, you're a Jordan fan, you've been known from time to time by some Air Jordans, this is the kind of movie you probably want to watch. And I definitely recommend you guys go check it out. It's a well-made film. I really found it very entertaining. There's one, if you can't catch it in theaters, definitely catch it on video, streaming, whatever the case is down the road. So Air, you guys are going to check it out, I think you should. Comment below, let me know what you guys thought. And of course, if you haven't done so already, subscribe below and feed money to go to the movies and talk about it afterwards. See you guys next time.